Thursday. Welcome to Inside Align. I can see that we are where we are supposed to be. And my name is Jesi. I am one of the co-founders here at Align. And my two other lovely co-founders are Shanae and Maria. And we started a six-figure skincare business from home. So how did we do that? I think that for me, like the behind the scenes kind of nitty gritty story of how a brand started and kind of those first steps that you can take to start a business or to really increase your results, success, launch into any sort of extra business, side hustle, income opportunity, like being a creator, being an affiliate, being a brand ambassador here at Align. There's always similarities between starting a small business and launching your own kind of additional stream of income in that way. And how people did it is always super interesting to me. I love the process. I love the research. I love the exploration of a new idea and a new business. And so when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight on Inside Align, I thought that that would just be a good topic to dive into further and not only tell the story of Align, but also how you can use that in any additional stream of income or your own business, or launching or branching out into something on your own as well. So let's get started. The first thing that I wanted to bring up was just having an open mindset about new ideas. So how Align came to be was truly one little mindset shift because a friend, a very dear friend of mine, Maureen, had mentioned to me a few years prior, probably in like 2020, the year. She was like, have you ever thought about just starting your own skincare business? And I always tell this story and I always laugh because my response that I still have in Facebook Messenger was, that seems like a lot of work. And I was indeed correct. That seed was planted in some sense, but honestly, I gave it zero consideration at that point. It wasn't something that I really even gave a further thought. That's where it stopped. But fast forward to 2022 and things are shifting around me. I had made a big career change and I had landed in a different position at a different company. And as soon as I started there, I knew that it wasn't right. I literally came home probably my first few days of this job and I told my husband, it's the right job for right now. Like I immediately knew that it was not a good fit. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't toxic. It wasn't bad. I just knew a few days in very quickly that it was the right job for right now, but that it was definitely a stepping stone and not somewhere that I was like super fitting and something that I would stick with very long term. So I'm in this transition myself. I'm looking around thinking, what is the next right thing for me? And started seeing some other businesses that I was familiar with being bought out, closing, changing. And a lot of my friends who I knew from previous direct sales company having to make those really hard decisions about what they wanted to do next. So it was just a very interesting time in this experience and seeing what was happening around me. I just thought, what if I did do it myself? What if? And just having that open mindset and really taking in the environment around me and letting new ideas kind of bubble up and actually giving them a little bit of consideration, right? Instead of just taking something and moving on, like let things settle, be open to new ideas. The world is crazy, always changing, so busy, but I really believe that we are always surrounded by opportunity. And I think that if you have an entrepreneur mindset like I do, seeing opportunity and seeing solutions to problems is a mindset that can really help you start something new or be more successful in something that you're already doing. So be open to new ideas, be coachable, be willing to do things differently than you've done them before, and be willing to be a beginner. That's a big one for me. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. So I have this moment, what if I did it myself? And what I did next was literally kind of let my mind run wild. What would it look like? What would it feel like? What product would I sell? What would I name it? What would the structure be? What would make it intriguing? How would it be marketed well? How would you sell it? And I wrote all of it down, wrote for me as in a Google Doc, and I put all of it on paper and I just kind of let all of it come out. And then I looked around me at who I thought would also be open to new ideas, because something really important that I want you to hear about starting a new business or deciding to relaunch something that you're doing or take it up to the next level is that 98% of people will doubt you, tell you to stay safe, tell you to stay comfortable, question your vision, your idea, your product, your experience, your capability. You will get way more doubters than you will get believers, especially in the very beginning. And so I think that it is really important to put it all out there for yourself, organize your thoughts, open your mind up to start thinking about who else would capture this vision with me, but maybe protect your little baby seed of an idea for a little bit. I think so often we want to go straight to telling the world or ask everyone we know, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And the reality is 98% of them are gonna think you're crazy. And they're not going to encourage you. They're going to doubt you. They're going to question you. And they're going to point out all of the things that could go wrong. And sometimes they're right. Starting a business is not easy. Up leveling is not easy. Changing what you're doing is not easy. It's really hard sometimes. Some of the bad stuff does happen. You're not going to be perfect and nothing is going to be 100% successful, but I would protect in the very beginning until you have taken the time to really flesh out what you are thinking, how you feel about it, and then start thinking about who else might be able to capture this vision with me. So for me, Maria and Shanae were some of the very first people that came to mind. Shanae has a lot of business experience. She's very even keeled. She complements my energy. So I am a visionary, idea generator. If you are a human design person, I'm a manifesting generator. I'm a Gemini. I feel like that always sums up my personality in such a simple way. And Shanae is a lot more steady. She's systematic. She gets things done. She's consistent. She's extremely determined and will go for a long time and not just go in spurts. Maria is my money girl, right? If there's anyone I would literally trust with my own money, it's Maria. She is highly intelligent, very experienced, conservative about money. I can't even list all the ways that I knew that I would need her help. So they're two of the first people that come to mind. But before I really dove into talking about it too far, I did get curious about what would a business look like that I wanted to do. I do think I called Shanae like day 2. So, I mean, it was pretty quick. But the next thing that I did was I got curious. So I looked at everything that I had put on paper, what I thought was a good idea, what I wanted to do. And then I had to get really curious and start the research phase. So for me, getting curious, starting a skincare brand from home in my late 30s, I have never manufactured my products myself. We do have a lot of skincare experience the three of us, in selling skincare previously, so we weren't coming into it completely clueless, but I'm not a manufacturer. I've never dealt with packaging. I have never put together a formula for my own product. There's plenty of business things that I haven't done, but you can literally find out anything from Google. I actually watched a super successful entrepreneur say this the other day. They asked him if there was one job skill that was the most important to him in hiring, what it was, and he literally said being proficient in Google. And I am team Google. We live in a world full of information, and that information is more accessible to us than any other time in history, and you just have to go look for it. So funnily enough, I had run into a skincare and kind of personal care, body care, the type of products that I knew I wanted to sell, manufacturer 5 years before this. 5 years. I don't even remember where I saw this company, but I had a business card. I literally picked up a business card from them 5 years before, put it in my purse, and I thought to myself, if I ever need to make my own products, this is at least where I would start. How weird is that? They are in Oklahoma. I'm in Oklahoma. And so once I had this little mindset shift of being open to new ideas, getting curious about it, putting all my thoughts down on paper, I found their website and I reached out and I scheduled a tour to go see their facility. And I had a conversation via email with one of their sales representatives, and I told her who I was, what my experience was, and what I was trying to do. And she was totally open to helping me. She was kind, responsive, scheduled a tour, and I thought, okay, here we go, right? One little baby step at a time. You can find anything that you need to start a business or improve your business now on Google, and by being open to new ideas, willing to change the way that you do things right now, and just being curious. If you know me, step 3 of starting a 6-figure skincare brand for me was research phase, and I love the research phase. I love finding out information, trying to put everything together into like a cohesive strategy, finding the missing pieces, literally banging on a door incessantly until I find the right door that opens, the right person who will open the door, or the right answer to the solution to the problem that I'm currently facing. And so then we went into research mode. What does it look like to start this type of business? How do you make a product? How do we find packaging? How much does it cost? How much do you charge? How do you determine your pricing? What all do you need to start a business like a line? You need a website, you need a tech team, you need compensation planning, you need compensation engine, you need technology to support it. You need someone to receive your packages, you need someone to make your products, you need ingredients, you need fragrance. There's a long list, but you can make any list if you just jump into it and start working on it a little bit at a time. And so Shanae, Maria, and I, at this point, once I talked to them, kind of told them what I was thinking, looped them in, told them why I talked to them, told them why I needed their help. They weren't in immediately. It wasn't like they were like, yeah, let's do this on day one. Shanae thought about it. I'm pretty sure she called me back the next day and was like, okay, here's all my ideas, which is such a synopsis of our current relationship as business partners. And Maria drilled me. She asked me all the hard questions. She asked me all the things I needed to think about. She wanted all the numbers, all the considerations. And then we came together and we made the decision that we were really going to do it. So research, research, research. Don't stop until you get what you need. Sometimes you're going to run into closed doors. You're going to hit dead ends. You're going to feel like you just can't figure something out. And that is when my advice is to tap into trying every single door and any connection that you have. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't be afraid to tell someone that you're new, that you don't know how to do something, or that you're inexperienced. So once we got to the point where we decided we knew we wanted to do it, I started trying to connect with any connection that I had that would help us, that had experience in what we wanted to do. So we came from a party plan, very traditional direct sales company. And when that company started, at this point, it would have been 10 years before. So it's 2022 when all of this is happening, summer of 2022. 10 years before that, in 2012, I had met one of the co-founders of this brand where Maria, Shanae, and I all met. And the instant that I met him, I knew that he was a good person, that he was trustworthy. And I really, really liked him a lot. I felt connected. I just was like, okay, I trust you. Like, I trust your guidance. So when we're in this discovery phase and we're in research phase, and now I'm thinking, who do I need to connect with? Who do I know that can help us? That person was the first person that came to mind. I had not talked to him in 10 years. Okay. He probably doesn't even remember at this point who I am. It was 10 years ago. And we were in communication and kind of in this business setting together for like maybe 6 months. So it's not like we worked with this person for years and years. But I knew that he had experience in what we wanted to do. And so I Googled him. I found his contact information, and I reached out. And I literally said what I just told you. Try any door, try any connection. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to tell someone that you're inexperienced and that you're new. It's okay. People who are good people want to help. And if they can't help, they're going to tell you, no, sorry, I can't help. And that's okay. That's not rejection. It's just continuing to open doors that are in front of you until you find the right doors. And we always say this about Align, and it's so true. When we first started this process, we just told ourselves we're just going to keep going and taking little baby steps and opening doors as they open. And if they keep opening, we're going to keep moving forward. And that really is what happened. So I sent an email to someone that I haven't talked to in 10 years. And I literally said, I don't know if you remember me. My name's Jesi. This is how I know you. I'm thinking about doing this myself along with 2 partners. Here's my idea. I would love to just kind of know what you think and get some insight from you and just run it by you. And he responded to that email within the hour, and he scheduled a call with me for the very next day, along with another business partner that I also knew from 10 years prior. So if you're looking to start a new business, or you have a new idea, or you're looking for how to improve a skill that you have, maybe you don't know how to use a certain social media platform, or you don't know how to leverage a blog, or you don't know anything about doing an event, or you don't know how to find new people to be an affiliate or find new products that you can be an affiliate for, if you don't know how to make extra income from home, there are people around you who know how to do those things. And it's considering finding those connections. And maybe it's not someone that you know directly, but someone that you know knows someone. Tap into your resources, your connections, your community, and find help. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's a single small business that exists today that was not started without help. Like, it's impossible. So if you let your pride and your ego and your fear hold you back from asking for help and finding new information and finding new ways of doing things, that's when we get stuck. And we all experience that in different seasons. But my encouragement to you is just keep knocking on doors. When I wrote the notes for this tonight, I was laughing because I'm like, knock on every door. And my probably like worst job I could ever think of would be door knocking, like literally walking around in a neighborhood and trying to sell someone something, like a real estate agent or a pest control guy or a roofer, like, no, thank you. But you can do that with the power of the internet now. You can do that virtually. You can do that by tapping into the people around you in real life and that you know through social media. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to be new or inexperienced. This is a big one because when you're contacting manufacturers, packaging companies, honestly, professionals at what they do, and you're saying, I think there's two ways to do this. And I think what a lot of people do is try to say, I'm good enough. Let me bluff my way into this situation. Or you can just be honest and say, I don't know what I don't know, but here's where I am. Here's my idea. Can you help me? And for me, I think the second is way more effective because every person that we've tapped into, technology, web development, manufacturing, shipping, freight, warehousing, consulting, anything, our CPA, anyone that we've tapped into as a connection, as a resource, has 100% made our lives easier, contributed to the success of a line. We would not be here without those connections and without that help. You cannot do it without help. So don't be afraid to ask for it. And if you bluff your way into it and you act like you know everything, they expect you to know everything. And then when you make mistakes and you don't know, or you have no idea what they're talking about, what do you do then, right? So I think it's just so much smarter to just be honest about where you are, what you want to do, and how you need help. Okay, the next thing I'm going to say is leverage the experience that you do have. To me, I think this is the funniest example of something that just happened to me 2 nights ago. So I'm sure everyone does this, but I think that women are even more guilty of it. We often downplay or minimize the experience that we do have. So Maria, Shanae, and I were in a direct sales company together. That's how we met. All 3 of us hit the top of that compensation plan. And if you're a direct salesperson, maybe you know a lot of people who have hit the top level of a direct sales company. But I would just say that's because you're looking at this little pool of the people that you know. And if we look at the big pool of everyone who's ever done direct sales, like in the United States, how many people achieve the top of a compensation plan? It's a very tiny percentage. But because it was direct sales, a lot of times we minimize that. We downplay it. We kind of keep it on the down low. And we don't really realize what an accomplishment that is. And direct sales gets a real bad rap sometimes, and it is very deserved sometimes. But I truly can't think of any other situation that I've been in my adulthood in life where I have learned more and like the widest variety of skills that you could possibly think of. You learn sales, customer service, technology, content creation, social media platforms, social media management, leadership, team management, conflict resolution. I mean, you name it, you learn it if you have built a successful direct sales business. And so while we had never formulated a product and never been to the manufacturer and had never figured out how to have our own packaging, or if we needed a label or screen print or what size, we did have a lot of experience to draw on. Maria has corporate experience with all things financial. Shanae has so much entrepreneur experience, shipping experience, working with vendors, working with overseas vendors, importing, exporting, e-commerce, technology. I am your sales girl. I have been selling something my whole life. It's just who I am. I'm the connector. I know tons of people. I can find a resolution to a problem, customer service, like you name it. We had all of these skills. And there will always be a part of you that wants to minimize that and think like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know enough. I'm not experienced. I can't do that. But you have to tap into the experience that you do have. You have it. And it could be teaching, it could be marketing, it could be being an accountant. Something from what you've done in your other experiences can and will contribute to the business, to the startup, to the launch that you're wanting to do. But you have to look for those skills and be willing to really leverage what you're good at and ask for help on the things that you know you're not good at or that you just don't know. So the funniest thing happened to me 2 nights ago with this kind of situation. And right after it happened, first of all, I like cracked up laughing and my husband was clueless because he didn't really get it. But I just literally said to myself out loud, like, this is why I can't doubt myself because instinctively, as a salesperson, as a connector with strategy, I know what the next right thing is, and I have to trust my gut. So I'm on Twitter. I am primarily on Twitter for NBA basketball. I live in Oklahoma City. I'm a huge Thunder fan. If you're not a Thunder fan or you're not an NBA fan, we can still try to be friends, but I get on Twitter for sports. The other thing that I get on Twitter for is e-commerce and DTC or direct to consumer business information. I'm a learner. I love to learn. And there is so much information from founders, small business owners, vendors, like technology platforms, software, tools, technology, new things coming in e-commerce, in business. And you can really follow along with that on Twitter. So I follow this co-founder of a business because I love the content that he puts out. Lots of valuable information, has made me think, has made me, pushed me to make decisions about a line, new strategies, different things that probably never would have entered my mind without following other people on Twitter. So he posted and he was talking about how successful TikTok and TikTok Shop have been for their business. And that is something that we are really leaning into right now. And we have a lot of boundary pushing different ideas about how a social selling company can really do something like TikTok or TikTok shops well and like push the envelope from what any other direct sales company or social selling company out there is doing. And so he commented this kind of post about how like huge TikTok and TikTok Shop have been for their business. And someone else commented and asked, how did you get your first 5 affiliates to try a product? Because if you're familiar with affiliate marketing at all, there's kind of different levels to it. Sometimes people will try a product for free and in exchange, they'll do a review or they'll do content for you. Sometimes they have a fee. Now UGC is the big thing. So people are charging to create content for brands, which is a huge opportunity that's out there right now. There's lots of different levels. Then you get up to your influencers who have zillions of followers and they just charge brands sometimes thousands and thousands of dollars to post in their stories or create a post or create a reel. So guy number 1 posts about it. Guy number 2 comments and he said, how did you get your first 5 affiliates to try your product? I usually don't say a lot on Twitter. I'm more of an observer, but I thought, hey, I just did this because I had literally done it that night. So I commented back and I said, hey, this is how I did it. I just started tonight. These are the different things that I did on TikTok and TikTok Shop to get some affiliates interested in trying a product, giving us a product review and creating some content. So I post the comment back and then I was like, who is this guy? I probably should have started with that. So I click on his profile and he is the CEO and founder of Native Deodorant. And I like died. Like I was cracking up. But when I told this story to my husband, he was like, what's Native Deodorant? And I was like, seriously? Native Deodorant? Like, if you don't know Native Deodorant, I don't know, that's surprising to me. I feel like Native Deodorant is everywhere. It's been online, it's in Target, it's in Walmart. Like Native Deodorant is everywhere. So I gave advice on how to get your first 5 affiliates to try a product to the co-founder and CEO of Native Deodorant, who did sell his ownership, I believe, in that business 2.5 years after he started it for $100 million. He is definitely like an e-commerce expert, an investor involved with lots of other brands. And here am I, this girl who started a skincare business from home with 2 of my friends. And while I am incredibly proud that we have built a 6-figure skincare business from home by ourselves as women, that is a very, very, very little baby fish in the big sea of what's happening in e-commerce and in business. But I knew the answer. And so even though he is way more experienced and probably incredibly resourceful and highly intelligent and super wealthy, me, a 40-year-old mom in my house who started with a direct sales background, raised kids, still doing it from home with a bootstrap startup business, knew the right answer to tell him. And my answer worked for me, and I knew that it would work for him. So it was just such a powerful reminder to me to stop doubting yourself. If you have an instinct, a gut feeling, a leaning, an intuition, if you know that something is the next right step, if you know that something in front of you is the next thing that you need to learn, or the next platform that you need to get on, or the next barrier that you need to break, stop doubting yourself just because something in your head is telling you that you don't know enough, you're not experienced enough, or you're not the right person for the job. You are the right person for the job. I am the right person to connect with affiliates and get them to try my product and build a relationship with them that's win-win, and give them something and get something back in return that benefits our business. I am the right person for that job, and it doesn't matter that I'm not a highly successful, highly wealthy, highly intelligent dude who started a business that was worth and is now worth hundreds of millions of dollars and is in every store. The little fish can still know the right answer. Stop doubting yourself. Okay, my last thing, and this is the most important part, is to just be brave and just take action. You have to be more excited than you are scared. Nothing about starting a business, becoming an affiliate, becoming a brand ambassador, starting a social selling business, adding a stream of income, trying something new, putting yourself out there to the world on the internet, which can be completely crazy. Nothing about that is comfortable. I am highly uncomfortable every single day at Align. From the day that I had the thought, to the day that doors opened, to the day that Maria and Shanae said, yes, we're in, to the day we spent money, to the day that we launched, and every single day since. I'm uncomfortable. My word last year was uncomfortable, and I lived it. You're not going to be comfortable. It's not going to feel good. It's going to feel scary. But if you can like muster up enough bravery and enough excitement to just pound down that fear and take action, success is on the other side of that action. We didn't build a 6-figure skincare brand because it was a good idea, because we knew everything, because we had enough resources, money, experience. We built it because we were brave enough to keep taking action. Baby step after baby step after baby step. I will call, I will email, I will ask for help, I will show up somewhere until we figure out how to do something. And that is the same for any business. Be brave, take action. It doesn't matter how good your idea is, how skilled you are, how awesome you are. If you stop taking action, it will stop. It will not build, it will not be successful. And so just keep going and believe that you can do it, even when it doesn't feel like it. And that's really how we started Align. How did we build it to 6 figures? People. Hands down. If Maria, Shanae, and I had to go door to door and door knock and sell people Align door to door, it would not be a 6-figure business. We created a 6-figure business because we harnessed the power of really good people. And so when you have a very clear vision and you share it with really good people, it's up to them to decide if that's the right vision for them or not. And we have just been fortunate enough to have 1,200 amazing people who are brand ambassadors who came along on this ride with us, and all of their intelligence, smarts, strategy, instinct, excitement, all of that came together and fueled Align into what it is today. And we are just getting started. We are a little tiny baby minnow in the ocean of what is possible in a skincare, beauty, e-commerce, social selling business in 2024 and beyond. And not every day is easy. Every day is definitely still uncomfortable, but you can do whatever you want to do if you are willing to be brave and keep taking action. Just keep going. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of insight into how we built a 6-figure skincare brand, some of those beginning steps. If you have specific questions about how we started Align, like technical questions, like how did you find this? Or, how did you come up with this idea? Put them in the comments. I love to talk about stuff like this. It's my favorite part of business. And I know the big trend right now is like, no gatekeeping. Let me tell you everything. But truly, if you see this video and you feel like you need to tap into the connection, like I said, and not be afraid to ask for help or not be afraid to ask a question, or if you're in our Align community and you want to start a small business, or you're looking to become an affiliate or an ambassador, or tap into UGC and you feel like you have no idea what you're talking about, girl, get on Google and ask any question that you want to. I'm always open door. I love this part of business, and I hope that you guys have an awesome night and that it inspires you to think a little bigger, push yourself a little harder, and be willing to be uncomfortable to build whatever you want to build. And we will see you next time for Inside Align. Good night.